Hi guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Allison. I'm 29. I like to post a lot of content about my personal finances, my own debt payoff journey, but also work-life balance and just lifestyle vlogs in general. Feel free to like and subscribe, follow along. Today's gonna be a monthly reset video, but we are moving into July, so it's gonna be my mid-year reset. So instead of taking a look at my monthly goals, I'm gonna take a look at my yearly goals and see kind of where we're at, if I need to adjust any goals, if I'm right on track. Yeah, see which goals I need to work on, focus on, adjust, things like that. I'm gonna go through my budget as well and then just kind of give you guys my thoughts on how I'm doing with my budget this year. Again, where I need to kind of work on and what I want to focus on in the second half of the year. And then lastly, we're gonna take a look at my journal and see how that's going because I have some yearly spreads in there. I want to take a look at how all of those are going and then also just plan out my month for July because I feel like I have a lot going on in July and I need to figure out my workout schedule and just fill in all of the important dates that I need to remember. So we have a long video. We're gonna get through it all, but this is just gonna be a plain old sit down video because there's gonna be a lot to get through. I hope you guys are ready. Strap in because we got a lot to go through. As I mentioned, first thing we're gonna talk about is my 2025 goals. So as many of you know, if you've watched any of my previous monthly reset videos, basically what I do every year, and I've done this the last like 3 years, is come up with my main goals for the year, and then every single month they're kind of broken up into smaller, more achievable goals. That way every month I can keep track of something and it's fun. Like every month I can check off stuff as we go along, but they're all helping me reach this overall goal for 2025. So we're gonna check in on these goals. They're obviously the same 4 categories that I break them down into in my monthly resets. There's finance, personal goals, health goals, and content creation goals. So we're gonna go through, and obviously they're very similar to the ones that I go over in my monthly reset because they're just smaller versions of this larger goal. So that would make sense. We'll start off with the finance goals because I love talking about my personal finances. I have quite a few on here, but my first one was to pay $5,000 towards my car loan. And I think at the beginning of the year, I wasn't quite sure how much I was gonna be able to be putting towards this. I think I knew it was gonna be more than that, but I wanted to start off small and kind of work my way up and see what I could do. So I recently calculated how much I've put towards my car loan since January 1st, and it was $7,250 in 6 months, which is crazy, super exciting. So I've already reached my goal for the year, plus extra. With that being said, I then added a new goal to just completely pay off my car because I pretty much have just about $7,400 left to pay it off. And that was with me being part-time the last 6 months. So that's why I think I'll be able to pay this off just a little bit faster. That was fun to see that I've put that much towards it and what the actual like overall number is. When I completely pay it off too, I plan on looking at how much I saved in interest and how long I saved myself. Like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be close to paying it off in 2 years when the loan was like 6 years. So I'll take a look at all the numbers, see how much I saved, how much I truly put towards the car and all of that, and share that with you guys because I feel like that would be kind of fun. My next goal was to have $5,000 in my emergency fund, which at the moment I have $3,000. So we're close, but also at the same time, some of these goals, it's like, that is what I want. But my main thing right now is to pay off the car. Like I feel comfortable with $3,000 in my emergency fund unless you need to use anything from there. Then I would build it back up a little bit. But the main goal is the car right now. So I'm not that upset that it isn't higher because I've been so focused on paying off the car. When I do pay off the car, which potentially could be September, October, then I still have 2 months to put anything else towards this emergency fund and also some other sinking funds that I'm hoping to build up because I do want a car sinking fund and pets, and I think there was one other one. I just want to have like a little bit of money set aside for like specific emergencies and then my actual like emergency fund. So that's the goal. So I'm not mad about that's not higher. Every paycheck I do put a little bit towards there. So by December, no matter what, I'll have probably like $4,000 in there. And then once I pay the car off, I can beef that up a little bit. But that's where we're at right now. Pretty solid, not upset about it. And then next was to put $3,500 into my Roth IRA, which again, that kind of got put on hold because of a whole thing with our taxes. And last year we did married filing separately, and I got all screwed with putting money into my Roth IRA. So until we figure that out, I haven't really been putting anything into there. I think maybe so far this year I put like $50. So we're just not focusing on that right now. So that one probably will not get met. But it's fine. Again, right now we're in a weird spot in our life where we are young. So the more you put into investments in retirement now, the better, because the longer it has to sit in there. But we're also at a point where we really, really want to get a house and pay off our debt and just grind and focus on those things for now. And then maybe in like a year or two, we can focus on that. So I'm not giving up on that goal or anything like that. I think I needed some time to step back and take a look at the big picture and figure out what I really want and where I want my money to go. But I do hope to start putting money into that again eventually. The next goal was to pay off my credit card every single month. And I feel very good about that so far. I don't think I've gained interest or paid interest on any of my credit cards in maybe 8 months to a year when I finally like really paid it off last year. So I'm really proud about that. Obviously, I still put a lot of purchases on my credit card. Honestly, most of my expenses go on a credit card, and that's simply just to get points, and especially gas. I get like 5 times the points on gas. So we get free flights, free hotels, and it just makes a lot more sense to put stuff on your credit card. It's also safer if like your card gets stolen to dispute things on a credit card. So typically I do put a lot of expenses on my credit card. I just don't ever carry over a balance. I always pay the statement balance. So that, I will say, I'm on track with that. And then the next one was to buy our first house, which again, I think that's one that's not going to happen this year unless we like for some reason really can't stay in this apartment. But we both took a look at our finances at the beginning of this year because we were gonna start the process in like March. Obviously it's now June, and it made way more sense to wait until next March. And in our heads we were like, it's just one more year, it'll go by super fast, I'll have my car loan paid off, he'll have his credit card paid off, and we'll just feel so much better. And also gives us more time to build up a down payment, moving cost, closing cost, things like that are gonna be overwhelming. So that's most likely for sure not gonna happen this year, but it's okay. I was upset, I was like sad about it at first, but in the grand scheme, it's really gonna make things so much better for us next year. So it's fine. We're fine. So those are my finance goals. I feel very good about where we're at. I think doing really, really well. My main goal obviously is the car loan, and I feel very good about that currently. Personal goals. My first one was to read 30 books, and I counted it all up, and I'm at 24 books already, and it's only June. So I decided that I am gonna raise that to 50 books to really push myself this second half of the year. I feel good about it. I've been loving reading this year. It's been so nice, and it's just something I really enjoy, so I'm happy about that. While we're on the topic, I'm gonna share with you guys my top 5 books so far this year because I felt like that would be fun. And this isn't no like order, just kind of the order that I read them in, I guess. But I really liked The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. That's up there on the list. I also really liked The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. Every single one of her books that I've read so far, I've loved. I gave that one 5 stars, had me in tears. And then the next 2 were Wild Love and Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This was my first experience reading an Elsie Silver book, and I was thrilled. Loved them. So we're counting that as 1, I think. We're gonna count that series as 1. And then also Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Loved it. I know there were mixed feelings about that one, I guess, but I ate that up. Loved it. 5 stars. And then my most recent favorite read was One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. I was a huge fan of that book, and I was so glad that I read it because I really didn't like Every Summer After. I was a little nervous going into it because I didn't like Every Summer After, but I really, really enjoyed that one. So those are my top 5 books. Let me know down below what your favorite book so far, favorite read of the year is so far. Next goal was to do one date night a month, and we are right on track with that. I love doing a date night, specifically just like making time to be together, intentional time together, and keeping the romance alive. We typically do more than one date night a month, especially now that the weather is nicer, but specifically like on those months that it's like kind of hard, I just like to make sure that we're at least getting one date night a month. Next was to take 2 long weekend trips, and we did one already. We went to Charleston, and I'm counting that sort of as a long weekend because we really went from like Wednesday to Sunday, even though Sunday was like literally us just driving home. So that was one. We had so much fun. And then the second one that I'm hoping that we do is for my 30th birthday. I want to take a trip up to Toronto and do a few days up there because my birthday's on a Friday, so maybe we'll do like a Thursday to Sunday, and it's only like a 5-hour drive for us, so I'm hoping we can do that. Next is I want to officially change my last name, and you guys, I know, I haven't done it yet. It's been now officially over a year. I have not changed my last name. I literally have the newly named kit to start the process, but it's overwhelming me, and it's also sad. I feel like people don't talk about that much, that it is kind of sad that you're like losing your identity, you're losing your last name. It's just a lot. It is a lot, but it will happen. I want to do it before we start like buying a house and down the road having kids and whatever, you know what I mean? My passport expires next year, so I need to do it before then anyway. Like, it will happen within the next year. I'm procrastinating. So, and then my last personal goal, and this was like question mark, was start trying for a baby. Again, that is something that for sure is not happening this year. The house could, like, you know, you never know. The house could happen this year. It most likely will not. Baby, absolutely not. Will not happen this year. We definitely want to get in a house first. I think with everything going on, me getting a new job, us wanting to buy a house, it's not the time for that, and that's fine. You know, I think, again, the thought process behind that was if we were to get a house this year, by the end of the year, we would have started to try for a baby. But yeah, that is on pause. That is on timeout. And that's fine. I don't even think I'm ready yet anyway. And that's okay. So that will get taken off of this list. That will go on next year's goals. Health goals, the first one, I wanted to lose 22 pounds. And the reason I chose that number is because I'm gonna give you guys the real tea, the real numbers. I started out this year, I think my highest weight was like 192. So then I picked 22 pounds because then I'll be like right at 170. And that feels like a good solid number for me to be at, where I'll be happy, have like good muscle mass, and feel content. And so far this year I've lost 10 pounds, which is so exciting. So I only have 12 more pounds, which again, it feels like a good solid middle ground where I'm at, like for it being June. Like I've done about half and I have about half more to go, so that feels good. I wanted to work out twice a week consistently, and I have. I feel like you guys, if you've been following me for a while, you know my saga with figuring out a workout routine, and I do feel really good about where I'm at, and I've been really enjoying my strength and conditioning classes, so I've been getting in really good, strong lifting workouts. So honestly, for a while, I've been doing like 3 workouts a week because I was doing Pilates, but we stopped Pilates because that just like, I was not feeling it. I would say very consistently at least twice a week, so that's exciting. And then I wanted to cook 1 new meal a month, and I feel like I definitely have done that. I don't enjoy cooking too much, but I also don't like making the same things all the time, and I feel like it's a good skill to learn how to cook and just try different things, make healthier meals. So I do like to try and switch things up once a month or a couple times a month even, but I need to start writing down some of the recipes that we do because I keep forgetting some of the things that we have gone through, and then I really want a list to like reference certain meals that we've made in the past. Okay, and then the last one, I'm gonna update this one as well because I put no alcohol, and I feel like that was kind of ambitious of me to assume that I was just not gonna have any alcohol this entire year. I don't know, that was very ambitious and very kind of like crazy. That was crazy of me. So I'm gonna change that. I guess just maybe put it as like limit alcohol And I feel like I have been doing that. Like, I don't drink very much, and I haven't in the last 6 months. But to say none at all is just a little unrealistic. I say this all the time. It's not because I have a problem with alcohol. It's literally just because I have a very sensitive stomach. And there's been so many times where I drink even just like a little bit and I feel so sick, and I just don't want to feel like that anymore. So it's more just like a reminder to myself, like, limit alcohol. Don't overdo it. Have a couple of drinks. If you're gonna have a drink, just have like 1 or 2. Like, don't get to a point where you're gonna feel sick, because you're gonna regret it. And then, yeah, it's just not gonna be good. So there's been a few months where I haven't had any alcohol, but then there's been other times where, like, we're on vacation. I've had a few weddings. There's been things. So it's not the end of the world, but I am gonna change it, maybe to just like limit alcohol. So overall, health goals, doing really, really well. Next is content goals. So I wanted to start a work-life balance / burnout series, and I did, and I was doing well at the beginning of the year because that's when I first went part-time. I feel like I might need to adjust that now because I'm obviously back to work full-time, but actually I can still make that work because I've been doing like week in my life videos on YouTube, and I feel like those do pretty well. So I do feel like I can still kind of maintain this and maybe do like a avoiding burnout / like work-life balance videos and keep kind of doing those consistently. Basically, I started doing them. I haven't been like consistent with it, but I like having kind of like a series and things that I can like focus on. So I would say 50-50 on that one. I want to post daily on TikTok, which I have been doing. I've been killing it on TikTok lately, posting wise. And honestly, at least once a day. Now I post sometimes twice a day, maybe even 3 times a day. Not often 3 times a day, but 1 to 2 times a day for sure. So I'm doing really well there. Be more comfortable talking to the camera. I feel very good about that. I try to do like a good amount of my short form videos talking to the camera. Obviously YouTube has helped a lot because that's literally all it is me talking to the camera. So now I feel more confident filming like videos where I'm talking to the camera on short form as well. Definitely been working towards that. The next few are my numerical goals that I just kind of put there because it's fun. It is fun to track. It's fun to have like certain milestones that you want to hit. So we'll go through those. The goal that I had for YouTube was to hit 20K, and I'm only at like 7,900. So we're a decent amount away from 20,000. I think what I'm gonna do is hit 10K and then maybe change this one to 15. Sometimes putting like the smaller goal makes you feel like you achieved something at least, because 10K is a huge deal. So like when I hit 10K, I feel like that'll be fun and like something to celebrate, and then I can move on to trying to hit these bigger numbers. So I might do that and like add in some smaller little steps before I get to 10K. For TikTok, I want to hit 150 and I'm at like 110. So I feel good about that. And then Instagram, I want to hit 25K and I'm at 13.5. So again, I might lower that to 20 and then like keep 25, like put a couple little like smaller steps in there before we get to 25. Okay, next goal was I want to try to make $20,000 from social media this year. And this is just a rough estimate number because I haven't had the time to like sit down and really calculate the exact number, but at least from like TikTok and YouTube so far this year, I've made about $12,000, and that doesn't include any like brand deals and stuff. So I will have to go back through and like add all of that up at some point. But again, that is a very good halfway point. I want to have a sponsored YouTube video because I feel like that's really cool. That's like a fun big step in like a YouTube channel. So that is in the works, I think. So that'll be exciting. And then I also wanted to get 1 brand deal a month for like short form. And I will say it hasn't been once a month, which is kind of sad, but I have had a few. I've had more, I think, this last 6 months than, previous. So not once a month, but definitely I've been getting more brand deal opportunities, so that's been exciting. So again, overall content goals, feeling good, feeling positive. Obviously the few things that I need to kind of work on. Overall in general, 2025 goals, feeling very good. I feel like it's so funny. Every goal I'm like just about halfway, which is funny because we're halfway through the year. So that just means that I definitely was I was like smart and accurate with my predictions and my goals that I wanted to reach. I never try to set goals that are like too unrealistic, but I like to push myself at least a little bit, and it's fun to track the progress on these goals, so I'm feeling good. Next, we're gonna move on to the budget. This will pretty much be like my normal monthly reset videos because I still need to like go through June and set up for July, so that's what we're gonna do, and then I'll just kind of go through my thoughts on how I've been doing so far this year with my finances. There's not much else to really go through for like the year. So let's take a look at June. I'm happy with June. I feel like I definitely overspent, but I kind of forgot that we were going on vacation and like that I would need to budget a little bit more for certain things, so that was my bad. But this is also still a learning process for me as well. I obviously haven't been like the best with my money in the past, so now I'm kind of just learning as I go and learning what works for me. So I'm not perfect, and that's fine, and you adjust as needed. That's something I learned this month was, oh yeah, when you go on vacation, you need to probably budget a little bit extra for eating out, for gas, for shopping. June was a high income month for me, which was exciting. Clearly up here you can see I spent a lot of money. I brought in money, but I spent a lot of money. Bills, everything's pretty standard, looks good. The goal was a little bit higher, but that's pretty much this extra like $1,000 that I'm missing from that brand payment that was in my mind going towards the car. So that's kind of what that is. That's the discrepancy there. Subscriptions, pretty spot on. And then expenses, okay? There's a lot of red, and there's a lot of large red numbers, okay? And we're gonna talk about it. Yeah. Groceries, spot on. Dining out, as I said, that was higher because I totally forgot that, like, yeah, we're gonna need to spend more money on food when we eat out on vacation. Gas was actually lower. That was the one thing I actually remembered to budget for, and it was lower because I also don't drive as much for work anymore, which is so exciting. So that kind of worked out, and I didn't spend as much on gas, and that was a good thing. You guys, shopping was way over, and that was on me. Beauty was over because I did get my nails done, and I got chrome, which costs more, and French tips, which cost more. I'm in a wedding this weekend, so I wanted to make sure I had something like cute and neutral for the wedding, so I did spend a little bit more on my nails. When I was inputting stuff into here from our trip, I could have maybe just labeled certain things as travel, but instead I put them in the category that they belong to. So I think that's maybe my mistake, because I did budget $200 for travel, but then when I was inputting stuff, I put like the sweatshirt I bought under clothes. I could just put that $200 up here in shopping and it wouldn't look as bad. Gifts, 0. Pets, I was under budget. And then health. Okay, this is where I think it looks scary that I spent so much money this month, and that's because I had a medical bill that I had to pay. Originally the bill was $962, and I ended up spending I think I ended up paying like $862. I got a $100 discount for setting up through some portal, like I don't know. I even tried to call, I tried to ask for itemized bill, I tried to ask for any, like, if I make the full payment discount. The only thing they could offer me was 10% discount if I signed up for Able Pay or something. So I was like, you know what, whatever, I'll take it. I'd rather get 10% off than nothing. And I also want to say, I do apologize. In my last video where I talked about the medical bill, some people were a little bit off-put by what I said about medical bills. As much as I said that I like wasn't gonna pay it, like I might just not pay it, I would never not pay my medical bill, if I'm being honest. That's just who I am. Like, I would feel way too nervous not paying a medical bill and have it go to collections and it just be this whole mess. I do apologize for, you know, making it seem like I wasn't gonna pay it. And it's not that I'm upset with healthcare workers, and I understand that the workers there need to get paid somehow, but it's more I'm upset with insurance and like the whole medical system in the United States in general. And I work in healthcare. I understand that it's insane, and it's so crazy how much each little treatment and each piece of equipment like is like everything's a charge in healthcare, and it's so crazy. And I think I was more just like, this is insane that like I got charged this much for no one helping me, essentially. So I was more just upset with the whole experience and then having to pay that much for nothing, basically. Obviously, paid the bill. I will never go back to the emergency room unless I'm actually like legitimately dying. Snacks, zero. Also, I didn't mention, but this budget template is by Coplenty. I do have a discount code if you want to purchase one of their templates. I use the yearly 2.0 spreadsheet. Coffee, I did buy one coffee this month, which is crazy, I know. Golf, zero. Home, oh, this was an air conditioner that we had to buy for downstairs because it's hot, it's summer, and the one we had downstairs was pretty much broken. It still worked, but it was really, really loud and obnoxious, so we did buy a new air conditioner. Miscellaneous, that was a new microphone. I bought the DJI Osmo Pocket mic, mini mic or whatever, so that was quite expensive, but I needed a new mic anyway for my voiceovers and stuff because my little tiny mic broke. And then that works really, really well with the Osmo Pocket 3, which I have. So I thought it was worth the splurge purchase. It just, again, happened to be a very expensive month. Didn't spend anything on my car. That's usually just for a car wash. Amazon, I did make quite a few purchases on Amazon this month, which I've been doing so good not buying anything on Amazon. I did have to buy shoes for the wedding that I'm in this weekend, toothpaste, lotion, just like little things that add up. And again, I could go through and like divvy up those little purchases, but that just seems like ridiculous. So I'm just putting it all under Amazon. And then books, I spent $76 on books, which is the lowest it's been in months. It's still high. But I will say the last couple of weeks I haven't really been spending money on books, and I've been really utilizing Libby a lot more. You guys will be proud of me. So it felt good that I was like closer to the goal for books at least. Over with my expenses, I had budgeted quite a bit for expenses anyway because I knew this month was going to be a little bit more pricey. And then just savings is right on track. The only two savings goals I had were emergency fund and house fund, and those goals were met. That month felt a little crazy and hectic, but it is what it is, you know? Let's move on to setting up July. Payday is gonna be, I think, the 3rd because technically it's the 4th, but usually if it's a holiday, you get paid the day before. So I'm gonna put the 4th. And then also 7/18. TikTok is the 15th. YouTube is the 21st. And I might put 1800 and just see. I think it should be around there. I'm just not 100% sure. And then paycheck 2 will probably be about what I got the second time. TikTok, I think I'm gonna put 850, which was a little bit of a lower month for me. But still, again, anything extra is still amazing. And then YouTube, I think 200. And then again, I should be getting this brand deal payment this month. Then we'll add in bills, and I'll change the dates here. Towards my car, okay, I'm gonna put 2,700 as my estimated because I should be getting that payment. If not, it would be 1,700, so we'll see. Subscriptions, all of those will be the same. And then lastly is expenses. So groceries I'm gonna leave the same because I feel like that was solid. Dining out, I think I'll leave that at 75. Gas, I'm gonna bring that down quite a bit to 150. We'll see how that budget works. And this is something that comes up as you go. Like you sometimes need to learn as you go and things change. Like I don't drive as much anymore, so now my gas budget is different. But sometimes it's a trial and error situation. Shopping, I am gonna leave that at 50, but I'm not 100% sure what's gonna happen there. Beauty, which is my nails, I'll leave that. Entertainment, travel, I'm gonna bring that back down to 0. Gifts, I'm actually gonna put 350 because I have a wedding, and then also I am picking up some things for my friend who's having a baby, and I'm gonna give her a basket of stuff when we go visit my parents. Pets I'll leave. Health, I'm gonna bring that back down to 0 because I shouldn't have any bills this month. Snacks, coffee, golf. Home should be 0. Miscellaneous, I'm gonna bring that down to 50. I'm not sure. Sometimes that's just a category that I put some stuff in because I'm really not sure where to put it. Car, Amazon, books. Okay, I feel good. That's a nice low number. Hopefully I can stick to that. It'll probably be a little bit higher. There's gonna be some things in red, but that's again part of the budgeting process is learning as we go. But that seems like a good number. And then into emergency fund and house fund. This should be $200 and this should be $300. As we can see, that leaves me with $15 to budget with. Like, I'm happy with that because it basically means that I didn't overcommit to anything in the budget. Every dollar kind of has a spot. Typically, I do like that to be a little bit higher, but obviously this accounts for groceries, eating out, gifts, pets, car, like literally everything, all my subscriptions, all my car payment, all my bills. Like, this accounts for literally everything getting paid or anything that might come up during the month that I could need. So even though, yeah, it's like exactly what is coming in is going out, it's covering everything. It's covering savings, expenses, subscriptions, bills, and that's with me putting a ton of extra towards my car loan. Last thing I'll talk about with the budget is just sort of how I'm feeling overall for the year, and I think I'm doing really, really well. There's been months and just expenses and things that have come up, obviously, that have affected my budget, like this medical bill. Obviously, I would have loved to have put that money towards something else. I think no matter what, the most exciting part of all of it is that I could pay that and not blink an eye. I could pay that. I could still make all of my savings. I could still pay extra towards my car. I was still able to reach all my goals while also like having this medical bill expense come up and be able to pay that. So overall, that's kind of been the theme of this year so far, is just I have been able to reach my goals while also still allowing myself to spend money where I want to, and like I said, buy myself something nice if I want to. Like, obviously that mic is related to content creation as well. Like, it helps me make better content. So allowing myself to make purchases that are going to benefit me in some sort of way and not just like stupid, silly purchases. I've spent a lot of money this year, but I've also been able to save money, pay off my debt, and just focus on the things that are important to me. So I don't know. I feel good. Obviously, I feel like there were things that I could have done better. But that's just a part of life, and that's a part of spending money. That's a part of it. Like, there's going to be things that you're like, wow, I probably shouldn't have spent that money. I also think you can't just, you shouldn't feel so much guilt around it. And like, there's nothing I can do about certain purchases that I made months ago. Like, it happened, whatever, move on. And just, I need to focus on the next 6 months and hopefully try to spend a little bit less money, obviously pay off my car, and just start saving as much as I can, because that, I feel like, is a really good goal. I will say I have noticed too, like, some of the other things that I'm proud of myself for is not spending as much on shopping. It's funny because when I don't spend money on clothes, I spend money on books, I spend money on this and that. I'm also just a girl, and I like to spend money, and I'm gonna spend money. The last thing we're gonna go through, because I'm getting tired and I've been talking for a very long time, is my journal. I get a lot of questions about this journal in my short form videos. This is the yearly bullet journal by Amanda Rach Lee. I found this through Jenna Hong because she always fills out her journal, and I've been obsessed with it because one year, I think 2 or 3 years ago, I tried to make my own bullet journal, like from scratch, and it takes so long, and I think I made it to September, and then I just couldn't do it anymore because making each spread it's so time consuming. So this is really nice because most of it is printed for you, and then you just fill in and color and, use it as a doodle journal, whatever you want. But most of it is already like printed, so that's really nice and helpful. Well, I'm gonna show you guys the yearly spreads that I made. There are sections that you make yourself. This is just like a mood tracker for the year. So that's filling out quite nicely. It looks really cute with all the colors. I will say there's been a good amount of days where I've been happy, which is good. There's been a lot of days where I've been tired. Not many days where I've been angry, so that's good. I'm not really an angry person. And then I have my book tracker. This is probably my favorite page. I print these out using my HP sprocket, and I made it like a little door. And yeah, it just looks really cute and aesthetic. I do have a couple that I need to put in. And I also think that I'm gonna need to expand because I've already filled out more than half of this because I didn't think I was going to be reading this much. And then my next 2 yearly spreads that I made myself is my car loan debt payoff tracker, and this one's so fun because it's like a little maze that I get to fill in, and it's honestly, again, like halfway through the year, and I'm about halfway through. Like, this is nice to look at because I have made so much progress since the beginning of the year. And then I have my song of the month. I don't know, I thought this was fun. I like to share what my favorite song is. My song of this month is Hip Hop by Big X the Plug and Lil Wayne, which, if you didn't know this about me, I actually really like hip hop and rap. I like rap music, and I really like Big X the Plug. So the last yearly spread is my 2025 bucket list, which I have a few things checked off. Obviously, with it being halfway through the year, I should probably have more on here. And then this side was just a little vision board that I made, printed out some photos, some stickers and stuff. And then this was June. I thought June was really cute. It was these little cakes. I love the vintage cake. And it was easy to color, which I appreciated because some of them are a little more time consuming to color. And then you always get a calendar, which is really helpful. I like to utilize this calendar a lot, actually. And then this was my habit tracker for the month and my mood tracker for the month, which I have a mood tracker for the year, but then there's also one for the month. The habits that I track is reading, journaling, skincare, posting a TikTok, no spend days, exercise, 8K steps a day, 64 ounces of water, and a calorie deficit. The thing that I've been struggling with the most is water. I might actually just take that off of my habit tracker because I cannot seem to drink any water. There was one day that I felt like positive that I drank 64 ounces of water, which is not a lot of water, by the way. And then each month there's also a blank page, which I do need to fill this out. What I've been doing is using it as like a photo collage page and just like highlights of the month. This was from May. At the beginning of the year, I was using it as a tracker as well. So I did one page as a tracker for social media, and then the other page was like a fun little like wrap up page. So I might do that again because I like the way that this came out. And then each week you also get a spread for the week. And I just like to keep track here, work schedule, what vlogs or YouTube videos I'm working on, and then I just put one good thing from the day. This is July, which looks like it's gonna take me a very long time to color, but we'll see. We'll see how I end up deciding to color this, but it might take me a hot minute to color. But the thing we're gonna work on right now is just the calendar, and I'm not gonna color it or anything. I'm just gonna put in like important dates, important things like travel, workout classes, anything that I know for the month, I'll put in here. But other than that, I'm not gonna start coloring this yet because it's almost 5:30 on Sunday, and I feel like I have some other stuff that I need to work on before I color this. So I just went through and looked at all of the dates and figured out my entire schedule and then what days I could book my workout classes. So basically what I do first is look at any events or trips or anything that I have going on in the month and write those in first. And then after that, I can pick the days that I want to do my workout classes. Because, for example, I have a couple book club events this month, so obviously I can't do workout classes those nights. So I like to know what my schedule is first and then book my classes based on my schedule. And then I don't really have much else really going on this month. Okay, this first week I do have a wedding. So I do have a rehearsal dinner. Saturday is the wedding. And then the 17th I have a silent book club. And the 22nd is my other book club. This weekend we're driving up to New Hampshire. Just for like 2 days. So not a whole lot going on this month, which is good. Just a couple of things throughout the month, but nothing too crazy, nothing too overwhelming, and I still get to fit in all of my workout classes. Hopefully I'll be able to color this soon and it will be all cute and pretty, but for now this is what we're working with. Just feel like my schedule is a little crazy and I don't have that much time to color everything, but I will get to it. And that is my monthly reset slash mid-year reset. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a lot. Thank you for sitting through it all and listening to me yap. If you've made it this far, comment down below how your 2025 is going. If you feel like you're having a good year, if it's been a crazy year, if it's been stressful. Obviously, I feel like my year, there's been a lot of change and a lot of things going on, but overall, it's been a good year. I'm happy with how everything's going so far. There's been a lot of changes to our plans this year, but not in a bad way. I think obviously it'll be better for us in the future if we wait and, wait till we're ready or feel like we're in a better financial situation to make these big purchases and next big steps in me and my husband's relationship. Yeah, overall, I feel like it's been a good first half of the year. I'm excited to see where the rest of this year takes me. I will say I'm not a big fan of summer. I don't really like winter either, so you can't win with me, but it's just been so hot lately and I'm not a huge fan. The middle of the year is a little tough for me sometimes because I'm not exactly my best self. So we're trying to get through the summer. Anyway, who cares whatever I'm saying. But thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great month and a great rest of the year. And I will see you soon in my next video.